It's a lovely Thursday. Good evening. In case you have just tuned in, this is NSAKA on Ubuntu channel. And of course, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and don't forget, we are also on Twitter. If you are watching us on Facebook, make sure that you get to like our broadcast. And apart from that, make sure that you also get to follow us on YouTube. It is Ubuntu channel. On Twitter, make sure that you also get to follow us at Ubuntu channel Zambia. This evening, I am your host together with my co-host. My name is Lance Sani Banda, and my co-host, of course, will get to introduce herself. As usual, we also have our studio guest whom we have missed so much. For the past 2 weeks, he hasn't been able to be with us due to circumstances beyond his control because this is life and so many things come through with it. Our topic of discussion this particular evening is bordered on how to handle in-laws or handling in-laws in short. Himba, good evening. How are you doing today?
Good evening, Lance, and good evening, viewers, wherever you are, whether it's good morning, whether it's good afternoon. I welcome you to Ubuntu on NSAKA program. My name is Himba. Lance Walila.
Okay. That sounds weird. That sounds like crying. But anyway, since those are my tribal cousins, I am not crying, but definitely I have eaten Nadiela. All right, so our guest for this particular evening is none other than Evangelist Shabuula. Evangelist, good evening. Welcome. We missed you and condolences to your loss.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Himba, and everyone that is connected to this wonderful program. I'm so excited that I'm back, and I'm back with a lot of vigor, and I'm ready to spill the beans concerning handling in-laws, how we need to handle them without breaking them, how we need to handle them without causing problems or challenges or difficulties for ourselves, because they matter. Because they matter, it matters how we handle them. This is the topic that we have tonight, and I pray that many of you that have tuned in will ask you questions. And Himba, the way I want to put it together with Lance, is that I'm going to bring out three scenarios. And these scenarios, they are meant, one, how to handle, or what I would say, kitchen management. Sometimes problems start from the kitchen between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. So I'll talk about that, and then we'll look at balancing support. How another mother-in-law would want to get more support than the other side of her friends. Then I'll end up with the dependents, how to handle those who are mulamu, when they come to visit you, they want to tell you and give you the history of how their brother was born, how he went to school, so that they can belittle you and make sure that you open the purse and give them. So how do you handle them? This is what we're going to go through this night. Thank you.
Awesome. Now, for those of you that are tuning in for the very first time, Evangelist Shabuula is a marriage counselor and has been a marriage counselor for over 10 years, or should I say 20 years. So therefore, he comes with a lot of experience, and it will be glad that you get to invite your friends, to invite their friends, so that they can also invite their neighbors to come through and follow this particular broadcast. Make sure that you get to share it on whichever platform that you are watching us on, so that we can have a variety of people watching and also learning from the learned evangelist right here. But for this particular evening, of course, I leave most of the deliberations to my more learned colleague on this issue. I'm talking about Himba. because at least she is in this thing in Zambia, which we call Shipikisha Club. Of course, talking about marriage, at least she deals a lot with in-laws, in-laws. But since I am on the verge of getting into it, I'll leave the mantle to Himba, and then we'll be coming through representing my single men and people that will share a view with me to say, hey, how do we handle them? Because we are coming into it. Over to you, Himba. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Lance. And once more, good evening, viewers. This is NSAKA, and we have our guest tonight, Evangelist Shabuula, as you've heard from my co-host. But Lance, I want just to echo one thing. Marriage is not a Shipikisha club. Don't make people get scared to go into marriage and say maybe you really have to sacrifice for you to be in a marriage. That's not the way it goes, Lance. Evangelist Shabuula, I would love us, as we are before we go into details, I know that when we talk about families, in-laws, in-law issue is the most critical and very complicated topic or component in a marriage. But before, I want us to categorize these in-laws. I know you've talked about Mlamu, you've talked about the mother-in-laws, you've talked about the dependents, but then I want you first to define who is the most critical in-law in this arrangement? Who are the most critical in-laws in this arrangement?
To answer that question, I would like to start by saying, by trying to define who is an in-law or what is an in-law. Now, here, the word in-laws, it has got two syllables, in and the law. Now, what we are talking about is that we are talking about a relationship that has been established as a result of getting into the marriage laws. Because you have entered into a marriage, you are actually entering a family which is not a bloody family. But by marriage, you are now connected. By marriage, you are now defined as part of the marriage. By marriage, you become part of that strange family, new family. So that is what it is when we say in-laws. And who are these? These can be relatives by marriage. And these relatives by marriage can be the father of your partner, the mother of your partner, the uncle of your partner, the auntie of your partner, the brother of your partner, the sister of your partner, the niece of your partner, the nephew of your partner, and also the grandfather of your partner and the grandmother of your partner. All these, they are grouped as the in-laws. Now, in this particular field, this evening, we are talking about the critical in-laws, the mother to your husband, the father to your husband, the mother to your wife, the father to your wife. These are the two that we want to deal with in this evening. We will also a bit rub on the skins of the sisters-in-law and the brothers-in-law, but these are not the main one who we are going to concentrate on, but the father-in-law and the mother-in-law. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Evangelist Shabuula. Before we go into our topic, I just want you to answer one question. Is it right,
Yes,
the mother or the father-in-law to stay with their married children? To stay, I mean, to come and stay for a long, not visiting, but staying, living with them. Is it right? And if it is right, how? If it is not right, how? But I want to know, is it right? More especially newly wedded children.
I want to answer from two facets. Number one, from the Zambian context, from the traditional context. And then we shall look at also from the biblical context, and we'll look at it from the Western context. Traditionally, when you have a son, you have a daughter, then you have somebody who will take care of you in your old age. Meaning that when you get old, when you become blind, when you become lame, when you are not able to take care of yourself, it does not matter whether somebody got married yesterday or today. That person who is your son or daughter-in-law or son-in-law, they have a responsibility to take care of you. That is by African context. By biblical context, the Bible says in Genesis 2 verse 24, and he will find his wife, he will leave father and mother, leaving them behind. Now, when we say leaving, we are talking about detaching yourself from the activities of your father and mother, from the influence of your father and mother, from the tradition and customs of your father and mother, for you to go and attach or join yourself to somebody who has a new life, which should be also be your life. That is the Bible. That's what it says. The Bible does not say take care of your father and mother. It says move away from your father and mother. Now, I need to actually explain further. Even the Bible does not mean that forget about your father and mother. It doesn't mean that. It means you leave the influence of your father and mother. You know, there are certain times when you would want to embrace your wife. And if your father and mother are watching, your hand will start shaking. You don't know where to put your hand, either on the head or on the back of your wife. So it is important for you to have your personal influence on your own. That is the biblical. The Western life, where you are, Himba, UK, America, out there, you friends who are exposed. When people have gotten married, it means the two have come of age, meaning that they want to start a life of their own, a culture of their own, habits of their own, now a language of their own, life which will be controlled only by two people, and therefore bring in a new person, that's the father or mother, who actually disturb the activities and the life in that marriage. So what do? Do you throw them away because you got married yesterday? The answer is no. What do? If you can, find accommodation for your father or mother. Find accommodation and give them food away from your home, but continue visiting them and attending to them. If possible, find somebody who should take care of them and you pay them yourself. That is a better way of handling them. Because if they stay with you, there are certain things that they will begin to do. If a bubblefish, no, let me just be very, very clear. If you stay with somebody for some time, you will actually begin to either influence them or you'll be influenced by their lives. So the best thing that you need to do here is to move out of that home and live on your own. And since you're an old man, you need to be taken care of. The other point, Himba, which we must understand here, is that you must understand why is that parent staying with you. Number one, is she or he broke, or the retirement package has been chewed. She has wasted, or they wasted their money. The other point is that, are they sick? Do they have a stroke? Do they have some, some problems, health problems? Is that the reason why they're staying with you? If that is the reason, see how you can help them without them disturbing the life that you have in that home.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. I also want you to comment on this. These parents who come to stay with the children, they are able, they've got at least a source of living where they've got maybe the basic needs to survive, and then they just come and join the children in the city, and these children are living probably in a one-bedroomed house or even in a two-bedroomed house, and they even have children. And then some even mother-in-laws or fathers-in-laws, they would even opt to sleep per sitting room when these children, they've just married. So I want you to comment on that.
In this case, Himba, the problem is not with the parents. If you are to investigate in that case, you find that the problem could be with one of the two, either their son or their daughter. Every wise parent should be able to understand that when a person has gotten married, I'll give you an example of the Bible. In the Bible, when somebody got married, if they were soldiers, they were given off duty. They would be on off duty for 1 year, 12 months, so that they can entertain their wives. That was what is in the Bible. So God saw it that a new remarried couple, they need time to be together, to explore. We call it so that they can begin to bind, to hold together. We call it bonding. So for that bonding to take place, it requires time of being together. So a parent who will stay with the children that have just gotten married is a parent that is not well groomed, because he or she is disturbing life in that new place. Let me go further, Himba. Even visiting, when people have gotten married, at least for the whole year, they should not be visited. Leave them alone. That's why the members, they sing a song at let's take this lady or let's put these people together so that the two, they will actually mess it up themselves, so that they have nobody to actually blame for whatever will happen. The issue here is that we should not even visit them for the next 12 months. The only time when we can visit them is maybe when they are sick or there's something serious has happened. That's when we can be there to be with them. But to decide to shift our home and take our bedroom into their sitting room or into one of their bedrooms, it is not right. Suppose they fight, suppose they quarrel, it will force you to join in and start making comments and begin to telling them what to do. That should not happen. We should not allow it. It should not be allowed. Even the parents themselves, they should be shy. They should feel shy to go and visit their children. For example, I'll give you an example. My daughter got married recently. So if they are watching me, I want them to know that I'm not going to visit them. I'm not coming. No, not at all. I don't want to know when there's a problem, you say, because your father was here, because your father did this. No. Even help, I will not ask for, say, help me in this way. No. But if they give me help, I will not refuse. But I will not write to them or call them that I need this, I need that. No, not at all. Until 12 months. So I'm marking my calendar that now this is the 3rd month. So I'm remaining with the nine months. After 9 months, Uche, I'm going to call you and say, my son, I need this and this. So, and it is not by demand, no. It is if you can. Sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes you'll be able to help after 5 years, because that is when God has blessed you. So it is not a must that I should be given, or any parent should be given. Because you must understand that even you, even me here as the evangelist Shabuula, I've got my in-laws. I also face challenges which my in-law, my son-in-law, is facing. Issues of money. It's not easy to find money. Issues of housing. It is not possible to find a bigger house where she can accommodate me and my kingdom. It's not possible. So we need to understand them. In fact, now that they are our children, it is actually, we still have some responsibility to see them walk straight, walk upright. When they've got a problem, they should be able to come back to say, Dad, I have a problem here. Nashota maybe $2 or $3. In case you are able to help, please help. I'll look around and say, actually, my son needs help. That is what we need to do. We cannot start harvesting before we plant.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Shabuula, on that one. Now, I want, what do you have to say about parents who come, especially mothers-in-laws? Okay, fathers-in-laws, most of the times, they are not really a problem. And even when things are bad, they try to compromise. What about mothers-in-laws who would visit their son and want to take over the daughter-in-law's kitchen? They want to manage. And my son used to like porridge like this. My son used to cook, when he was young, he used to like kalembla like this. My son used to like kapu to be blue. What do you say?
Yeah. I want you, Himba, to understand that you as a mother, you as a lady, after your boy gets married, the very question that you are asking me, you are going to find yourself actually, dictating to your daughter-in-law that wakati kulia busara. So here is busara. Now, what I can say is this. It is just natural for a mother to be tied to the son. Now, when a child is in the womb of the mother, there is a connection to the mother or to the boy or to the child through the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord. When a mother goes to labor ward to deliver, that child will come out using the head. And when that child comes out, that child, the doctor or anybody attending to the woman, to that lady who is delivering, is going to cut the umbilical cord. By cutting that umbilical cord, he is actually separating the son or the child from the mother, so that the mother can be free and the child can also be free to do what they want. Apparently, Himba, that connection with the mothers to their children, it does not end completely. It goes a long way up to old age. Now, this is where we need to help mothers to understand that the umbilical cord was cut when your son was born. And so because that umbilical cord was cut, your son is no longer connected to you. He is a free molecule who should be able to move and mingle with the person that he is in love with, and that is his wife. Now, such a mother, if she does not take care of that love that she has for the son, that love can change and turn into a toxic situation whereby a problem will be caused as a result of being in love with the son. If the son was drinking chiwantu or eating yams or eating a certain type of food which the mother was giving, the mother must understand that she is also a wife in her home. Those certain things that she does not want to be done to her, she should do in a similar way, not do to the daughter-in-law, probably by dictating what must be cooked in the kitchen. When she visits, she is a visitor. I'll repeat. When she comes into the home, she is a visitor. When she's a visitor, then it means that she'll be told what to eat, when to eat, how to cook it. If she has something that she wants done or cooked, she can merely discuss with the daughter. And this is up to the daughter now to be free with the mother and tell her, Mom, you are welcome in our home. If there's anything that you want to eat, we want you to have it. If you want to cook for yourself, we want you to cook for yourself. If you want us to cook for you, we'll cook for you. On certain days, a good daughter, like Chorwe, like Shambweka, like Chimuka, these are my daughters, they have to tell their mother-in-law to say, Mother-in-law, today we want you to cook for us what you used to cook for my husband here, so that even when you are gone, I'll be cooking for him. So please show me how it is done. Allow the mother to get into the kitchen. Let her do that what she wants. Sometimes you not want to cook on the stove. She would want to use firewood or maybe charcoal or coal. So allow her to do that. When you do that, she will feel respected, she will feel received, and you have cemented a relationship with her. Don't tell your mother-in-law to say, you can't do this in the kitchen. This is my kitchen. When you do that, you are inviting troubles. And mind you, your husband, he has a mother and she's a mother. It won't take long. Your husband is going to side with the mother and you'll be alone.
So, Evangelist Shabuula, Evangelist, just on that, hold your thought.
Yes.
I'm getting interested where you are saying the mother-in-law is going to say, don't tell me this, and you're going to start a war. And because definitely the son will stand for the mother. But now I want also to clarify that at this particular time, the son also has a responsibility, because he's the one who's got room for the mother, and these are two special women in his life who are occupying different positions, is it? So for me, I also want to talk to this husband who's got a special room for the mother, this husband who's got a special room for the wife. At such a time, how does he come in to manage the situation?
Excellent. You know,
Evangelist, before you, in answering Himba's question, maybe also link this question to it. What isn't it imperative for the mother of this male child to teach the female child on certain things that their son likes for cooking, what he likes eating at a particular time, to avoid all these conflicts? Isn't it imperative, or isn't it important for this mother to also at least share with the in-law to say, these are the things that your husband to be or your husband likes, and therefore this is how he likes them prepared, to avoid all these other conflicts in the kitchen?
Yes, thank you so much for those two questions. First of all, every progressive marriage has got what is called rules. When you get married, you need to set boundaries. You need to set rules. How you be handling visitors in your home, how you are going to be disciplining children, how you are going to handle monies, how you are going to handle property in that family, and then how you are going to handle each other, how you are going to handle anger, how you are going to handle visitors and in-laws. Now, when relatives of the man, they should be managed by the man himself. Relatives of the wife must be handled and managed by the wife herself. Why? Because she knows how dad is and the mother is. And even when she talks to them, they will quickly understand her. She will not be a stranger to them. She is their blood daughter, blood son. So she should be able to talk to them. Now, I want to answer the question of Sunny. When he says that she should be able to teach them how to prepare the certain foods which that young man loves. Number one, you must understand that sometimes what the husband to Himba, Mr. Marambo, what he liked best when he was a young man, he no longer eats those or drinks those. But the mother up to now still thinks that the husband wants Chiwantu. When in fact he does not want Chiwantu, he likes drinking, eating yogurt in the place of Chiwantu. But the mother will still stick to those old things. Now, what you should do is this. To handle that, it must be you, the lady, who should open up to the mother, maybe the second day after joining you in that family or after visiting. The second day. Because if you delay, she will start doing her thing. So tell her to say, Mom, you are welcome here. And you are welcome here. One of the things that I would like to do whilst you are here is to learn how to cook certain dishes for my husband. Because sometimes he has told me stories how he used to take care when he was young. So some of those things, I don't know how to do them. I don't know how to prepare them. So when you do that, the mother will be excited. She would want to show you how she was doing it. Already, when you do that, you have won points. You'll be able to work with her. So the issue here is that it depends how you open up to your mother-in-law on day 2 after she has arrived. 2, Himba, the father, the husband, your husband, and me as Shabuula, I should be able also to talk to my parents to say, well, this we do, this we don't do, whatever it is, in a way that shows that we respect them and we're happy that they're there. But let's not point out when something goes wrong, we start telling that this, if you do this, I'll chuck you out. I'll show you the door. Or whatever it is. My wife doesn't want this. Whatever it is, my wife will lose temper. No. Just say, this we don't do here. This we can do. This is okay. And the issue is that don't bring a lot of rules when they are parents. You are restricting their activities and their freedom in your home. So make sure that you handle them with care.
Evangelist Shabuula, what advice do you have to men who would say, if a wife goes to him and say, the way mom spoke, I think then this man would say, that's my mother. You can't say anything. Let her do whatever she wants. This is her son's house. And even the lady also, whenever a man says anything about maybe the mother to the lady will go, what is your comment on that?
Once, a city that is divided cannot stand. A marriage that is divided cannot stand. Already, when you begin talking like that, you are not pulling in one direction. You are actually divided. it is wrong for a man or a woman to say, this is my mother, this is my father. Not at all. That is not right. You know, if your mother says something that is not right, or your wife has said something that is not right, it is wise to call her to say, okay, mom, okay, dad, my wife, whatever it is, okay, let's talk about this next time. For now, maybe we can put it aside. In the meantime, go into the bedroom, and you remember it's a boardroom, Boardroom, not bedroom. It's a boardroom. You go into the boardroom and then bring it out in a nice way, where you do not show support that you are supporting your mother or you are supporting your wife. Just stay to say, okay, I heard what was discussed there. Maybe what we need to do is this, this, and this. Be suggestive in your talk. Like, you didn't hear this and this, but be suggestive. When you are suggestive, your friend will be able to see sense. But if you begin telling her to say, you were wrong, you know, anybody who is told that is wrong will be defensive. They will say, no, I wasn't wrong. It was your mother. In fact, she's the one who started by yawning. First of all, before talking to me, she started yawning. After yawning, he started screaming. That is how I came in to defend myself. Problem, it's because you, the man, or you, the lady, you are siding with your mother. Don't side with your mother. Just put things in the middle and say, this is what we need to do, this we need to do. What do you think about this? In a way that does not compromise the situation. But at the same time, do not leave things to be out of control. Take charge. But do not victimize your wife because she is your mother. Do not victimize your husband because he is your father. No, not at all. Be honest in what you do and ask yourself a question. Is this the best way of handling this matter? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Evangelist. It's 38 minutes past, of course, the time that we started. And it's about time that we have to start engaging our viewers, people that are coming through using different platforms that they are watching us either on YouTube or on Facebook. Now, be reminded that we have shared with you the link in the comments box. Make sure that you get to click on it if you are to join us live in the studio, so that you can ask your question, you can express a view, but definitely you can have a comment on the topic of discussion that we are having this evening. And of course, in case you have just tuned in, we are talking about handling of in-laws. How do you handle in-laws? When we talk about in-laws, we are not only talking about mother-in-law, father-in-law, but we are also talking about sister-in-law, brother-in-law, cousins, and everybody who is related to the person that you are married to. So if you have a concern that you would love to share with us and you would like to have a clarity from our guest, make sure that you come through via the link that we have provided for you. Of course, it's about that time that we make sure that we get you into the studio and also read your comments so that Evangelist Shabuula can get to attend to your questions, comments, and views. Director, if we can have a message coming through from Lawrence, which is talking, or he is asking a question, talking about a man and a woman marrying each other, and the man lives at the woman's house, parent, or the man moves into, all right, thank you. So Lawrence says a couple which stays at the man's mother's house, they got married, or they get married, and the wife joined the man at his mother's house. The lady is complaining he gives his mother money for food and not her. Evangelist Shabuula, what's your say? So Evangelist, take note of this question. All right, a man or woman joins this man at his mother's house, and then they are living together there. Instead of giving the wife money for food to make a budget. He decides to give his mother, because this is his mother's house. So what's your say on that one? I think this is the same question, which is here. If we can get to read another message coming through, obviously expressing a view or maybe a question. All right. Lewis says, I agree with Evangelist Shabuula. Personally, I think creating a good relationship with your mother-in-law creates a bond between daughter and mother-in-law. Communication becomes easier in terms of handling the kitchen, her son, and the home at large. Secondly, it's fine to learn from your mother-in-law about how to prepare certain foods, because about certain foods becomes, I'm sure he was writing, because we may marry from different cultures, hence being able to learn both cultural duties would be good. Lastly, a husband should not be able to take sides of everything. All right, Lewis, thank you so much for your comment. Let's get to read another comment, and then we have our guest responding to these messages or concerns coming through. If we have also a guest, or if we have a caller in the studio, let's get to bring them on so that they can express a view, or they can tell us what their thought is about our topic of discussion. Okay, so we have Mukelebai. Mukelebai, hi, good evening. How are you doing today?
Good evening. How are you? Sorry, my screen, my lightning is a little bit poor today.
Not a problem, as long as we can see you and your voice.
How are you?
Enough.
Well, Evangelist, how are you? Good to see you. Haruzwile Hande. Mufolile, you are now better.
I'm fine, sir. Very fine. Yes, thank you.
No, I just caught up with the program a little bit late, but I understand the topic was, you have already narrated most of the things, and my contribution is just to add to whatever what you have said, that in-laws, yes, there has to be a very good rapport, communication between the in-laws and their either daughter or son-in-law. But the best thing that we Zambians are known for, there are certain tribes, not even tribes, but a certain parents or in-laws that are so much involved into marriages. They perceive to be the ones that are in marriage. Now they even take control just because their child has been married, and they want to put up their rules and their norms into the marriage. In short, interferences from in-laws. And if that could be avoided, it will really help a lot in terms of safeguarding marriages. So I feel that it is imperative that relatives, parents of a couple, they need to stay away into any conflicts or into internal affairs of a marriage. They can only come in when they are summoned or subpoenaed by the couple to come and intervene. Otherwise, respect, yes, it is demanded. We crave respect from every in-laws to respect their children, and also their children to respect their parents. I think that's where I can end.
Thank you so much, Mukerebai. Remember that when you come through, you only have 90 seconds. So be short, be brief as you ask your question, as you share your sentiments or your comments, so that we can accommodate as many people as possible. Evangelist, you can respond to the questions that have come through.
Living with the in-laws. So living with the in-laws. So, and then this gentleman gives money to the mother to budget for them or to buy, whatever is required in the home. In the first place, I want to say this, especially to you, Lance. who is not yet married, if you do not have your own accommodation, either built your own house or you are not able to rent your own home, instead you are staying with your mother or your brother or your sister or your relative, then you are not ready to marry. Because marriage means that you have come of age. You are able to support another life. You are able to protect another life. You are able to defend another life. You are able to give joy, happiness to that new life. Now, if you give money to your mother to begin to budget for you and plan the type of food that you need to eat in the home, then that lady that you married is not yet married to you. She's either a maid in that relationship or she's just a stranger. Because as a wife, she's supposed to handle money or finances and be able to buy what she wants and cook what she wants to cook and eat what she wants to eat. If your mother is managing your finances, she's managing your kitchen, then think twice. You are not ready to marry.
Evangelist, can't we call that as a tutorship? Like maybe she's on training?
On Lance, just to add on what the evangelist was saying, even in the village, when you want to marry, they are going to give you a small field where at least you should start preparing your food for the family. You are going to have your own a little house where you are going to be with your wife. There's no way you are going to marry and then you take this woman into your mother's house. Then you're not ready to marry. Then you're not ready. It's better you continue living because you're literally going to make this woman as a slave in your home. As Evangelist said, there's no way my mother-in-law would be making a budget for me because I want to feel ownership of that marriage. I want to feel a sense of belonging in that marriage. And where my mother-in-law is still being given the money to handle finances in the house, I feel my mother-in-law is playing my part in that house. What happens eventually? Conflict of interest. Bamayo baisa mukingira munganda mwandi wansendela position. I won't like her. I'll start fighting her because I'm fighting for my position because she has come into my territory. So the best way is, if you are not ready to rent, you are not ready, you haven't yet built a house, you are not financially stable. Me, I don't even advise men to marry if you are not even financially stable. At least you should be able to meet the basic needs. We are not saying you should be rich, you should be this don in the world, no, but you should have the basic needs at that particular time. So if you can't afford even the basic needs, awe mweupa tata. So
okay, not like I'm trying to put you on the spot, but what if maybe this is a test that we are trying to put across for this woman to see if she is a quick learner, if she can learn at least one or two things on how to manage the little monies that a man is getting from his job, manage it when there is a huge family before they even have a child. Perhaps the man is getting little monies, the African setup, the man provides for the family. So you decide to bring her maybe in the family house, I would put it like that, in the family house, and then instead of giving her the money to budget for everybody, at least you give an experienced woman who is your mother to at least budget. But as she is budgeting, obviously she will engage this wife of yours because she is trying to teach your wife on how to go about certain things or on how to go about little things in the budgeting of a family that is there with little monies.
Lance, the first thing, by just saying you're putting this woman into test, it's problem number one. I wish before you married her, you should have told her that I'm going to take you to my mother to teach you. My mother is going to be your mentor, and she should consent to that. You shouldn't just impose that on her. Why should you put your own partner into tests? Why should you test her first? Why are you going to marry somebody? Because even when you're making little money in the house, you're bringing in little finances in the house, your wife should be able to budget. Your wife should be able to understand and be able to live within your means. So if you are giving that little money you're bringing in the house to your mother, so at what point will the wife learn and get to know how much you're bringing in? So in the first place, for me, a wife should be independent. Let this new woman, let this new couple start their own life. Let them, whether it's little resources, whether they've got more resources, let them start their own life. And there's nothing like no.
All right. Sorry to cut you short, but let's get. I know Mukeleva is burning to answer the question of you marrying and then you bring the woman in your parents' home, and then you start giving probably your salary or your money to your mother to start budgeting for the whole family, not only the nuclear family of you and your brothers and whoever that is on the house, but also you bring in your wife right there. Mukeleba, I know you are burning to answer that question. What's your
In the first place, why would you bring your wife at your parents' place? Are you out of a job? Are you evicted from the rentals, from your rented house? These are questions. There are circumstances, of course, but if that is the case, then you are simply squatting at your parents' place. Because as an adult who has even decided to marry, you are independent. You're not supposed to be a dependent to your parents. So you have to move out and find yourself accommodation where you can where your wife, she's able to make her own shots, her own decisions in her own home, not with your mother who has brought you from the time you were in diapers. Awe, it is not okay. Then sit down and talk to your wife so that you can bring your mother and keep her. Because as Zambians, we have that moral obligation to look after our parents when they are old. But we are not legally obliged to do so.
Okay, but how can it be squatting if maybe you are trying to save on a little that you are getting? Remember, let's take every situation here. Yes, there's a man who is working, there's a man who is not working, and you are looking at time. Time is moving. We have people that are marrying on an impulse to say, hey, I'm getting old and I need to get married, I need to have children and all this and that, but they are not financially stable. And then you also have people that are marrying or getting married all in the name of because of peer pressure, and they're still living at their parents' house. They're getting little monies from there. Evangelist, welcome back. Good to have you back. Okay, I believe we still have network issues right there. But let's get to attend to this. I don't know, Himba or Mukeleva, any
Lance,
of you kick it up. Yes.
Lance, for me,
Thank you so much.
If you're
Thank
not financially,
sorry, technology. I think network here has been a problem. Yes.
Okay, we're still having network challenges with Evangelist right there. Himba, you were saying something.
Lance, as we are discussing this topic, if you are not financially stable to meet the basic needs, don't marry. Full stop. If you're not financially stable, to meet your basic needs, don't marry. There's nothing like you're trying to save. You can't marry and save at the same time. As we are dealing with this issue of handling the in-laws, let's learn to separate. Let's understand that in this man's life, I've got this position. I am a mother-in-law. I am a daughter-in-law. For me, I believe all the parts, they've got a role to play. The mother has a role to play. You're going to find that the mother comes to visit this daughter-in-law. She's going to demand even to occupy the positions that are not hers. As much as we may talk about communication between the in-law and the daughter, you are going to find that some mother-in-laws, they hate the daughter-in-law. I don't like the way she dresses. The mother-in-law, by staying with the daughter-in-law, she will even notice the way she's dressing. And this is their house. They need to have freedom. So as we are dealing with these mother-in-laws, I personally feel all the parties, they've got a lot to play. The mother-in-law should respect the daughter and sons-in-law's house. She should know that she's a visitor and she should understand her boundaries. There is no way the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law are going to fight over who sits in front. The mother-in-law will be, and even the daughter-in-law will be, this is my husband's car, I have to sit in the front. I think there should be a consensus. The daughter-in-law should know that this is the mother-in-law. If my mother-in-law is crying for this sitting in front, let me leave it up to her. And also the son should also be able to manage, because he has two special people in his life, two special women. Oh, Evangelist Shabuula, welcome back.
Thank you so much. Himba, you are right. What you are saying is very, very right. I'll start with the marrying on impulse, or for situations. You say you marry because of pressure. We should not marry because of pressure. We should marry because we are ready to keep somebody's life and other people's lives. If you are not able to somebody, you should not marry. It's not just because of feelings. Know that because you can have an erection, then you say, now I'm going to marry. It's not about erection. It's about keeping a life. Because even dogs, they've got erections. Even, they've got erections. How you feel is whether you are able to take care of a life and lives. That's what is important. The other issue is, for example, the two wives managing the two women. Your mother and you must know that these two people, both of them are delicate and they're very sensitive. In the first place is that the rights of your wife are in your home. The rights of your mother are in her home where she's married. And therefore, when she comes in the home as a stranger and as a visitor and as a daughter in the son's home. There are rules which must be followed. And therefore, she should be patient enough to be told what to do. If there's anything, let her wait and see what happens. Of course, even you as parents, also as children, you should also be flexible. When you are too hard with your rules, you can create a problem. And therefore, it is important also to understand the nature of your mother. That is why in courtship, you should be able to tell each other, no, the behavior of my father is this. The behavior of my mother is this and this. When you see this happen, don't handle her this way, but go to the right side and handle her from this side. By so doing, you are helping your partner to know how to manage your mother or your father or your parents. Because if you leave your wife to handle your mother, who she does not know that she is quite brittle, she's sensitive, then she can create a big problem. So the onus is on the man. Men have got a key role to play concerning their parents. And also daughters have got a key role to play concerning their parents. You know, this also, it goes by the way parents understand their children. You know, when you visit your children, you should not leave, you know, a home divided or cause a mini divorce. It should not be that way. You must leave your children blessed and happy and willing to host you again. Not that when you leave, they say, oh, by God's grace, we are now saved. No. It should be,
Evangelist.
you know, it is a loss that dad is returning or is going back to his home, or mom. Yes?
Yes, two things that
Talk to me.
have been, yes, two things that have been brought. Of course, a young lady wants to find out what she can do in her situation. Her mother-in-law blocked her or blacklisted her. She, you know, she tries to call, but her number has been blacklisted. The mother-in-law doesn't want to talk to her in any way whatsoever. What should she do? What's the immediate solution for her to get maybe her mother-in-law's love back? Then the second thing, is it always the in-laws of, is it always that the husband's mother or father are the problems in the marriages of their sons? Because mostly we hear, oh, father-in-law, mother-in-law of the male child. We've never heard a female child's mother or father bringing confusions or problems in these marriages. Is it always the man's mother and father that brings problems in a marriage? But I would be glad if you start with this woman who is battling with her mother-in-law that has blacklisted her. How can you help her?
What we must understand here is the question would be, why should a mother blacklist a daughter-in-law? Why? Because that question is supposed to be answered by the lady herself. What is it that happened for the mother to blacklist her? Number two, what is the role of the husband, or what is the husband doing about it? To me, she should have also indicated to us what the husband has done to come in and help. Because this fight, the blacklisting, will not be only be handled by the daughter or the wife. She will not manage it. It requires an outside help, and that is the son to the mother. Now, the son to the mother should be the go-between the two, so that, you know, they look at really what happened. If something went wrong, if something happened which is not right, then she should be able to go to the mother-in-law and apologize in the presence of the husband. They should go there and apologize. Even the son should also apologize on behalf of the wife, to say, Mom, we are sorry that such a thing happened. We didn't intend to do this. We are your daughter, your children. Please receive us and forget about what happened. We have learned our lessons. Go there, humble yourself, and they'll be able to receive you. But the husband should be in the forefront.
In a situation where both the couple, they've done that, they've apologized to this mother-in-law, they've even gone, the two of them, and apologized. But the mother-in-law, their mother-in-law who would say, me, no. So let's take it, they've apologized. And even for her, I think, to come and contact us, which means she's also looking for peace with the mother-in-law. But in a case where they've apologized, they've done everything, and the mother-in-law has just closed up her doors, what advice do you also have on the other side?
Here, Himba, sometimes it is timing. You went there to apologize at a wrong time, when she was in the heat of anger, and you began to apologize. Sometimes the time can heal. Allow time to heal and be able to apologize at the appropriate time. So to me, sometimes they went to see her when it was when the iron was too hot, and so she could not accept that. But with the passage of time, that can be sorted out. Definitely, she will.
But in this situation, who should act more mature? Is it the daughter-in-law or the mother-in-law? And who should be more a peacemaker between the two parties?
First of all, as I said, the father, the husband, should be the peacemaker. Who should play, a mature role? It is the husband. In other words, the son to this mother who is disturbed. So the son can work, can take a critical role, even visiting without the wife. He should start softening, going there to soften the heart of the mother, visiting, taking presents, and apologizing on behalf of the wife. After some time, that anger is likely to subside. So that is what needs to be done. It's very, very important, because sometimes when the both of them go there, she sees, the wrong in that lady. So the gentleman can do it even behind the back of the wife, but go there and humble himself and say, well, I've come on behalf of my wife, and this is the position of my wife. She is sorry, we are sorry, I'm sorry, we are all sorry about what happened. Accept us as your children. There's nowhere where we'll go. We are your children. You will not cast us away because we don't have another mother. You are the mother. We are sorry that we mishandled whatever it is. It's very, very important. At one time or later in life, she will forgive.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Shabuula. Time is not always on our side. Your last remarks. And over to you, Lance.
My last remarks, we need also to understand that mothers-in-laws or fathers-in-law, sometimes they can be too demanding, wanting support from their children. You and me, I also have my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. We will need to balance your support. Don't support one side only. Maybe the side of your wife, then your biological father and mother are struggling. No. Or maybe you are just supporting your biological father or biological mother. The side of your wife is struggling. No. We need to balance. The other point here is the people that you keep in your home, your sister-in-law or your brother-in-law. If you've got a brother-in-law or sister-in-law who wants to dictate to your wife and tell your wife what to do or how to manage her home, or your brother-in-law or sister-in-law who will not take instructions from your wife or from yourself, then you don't need to keep that person because he is dividing your family. Your children will be aliens in your own home. So such a person should not be kept. The mother who is talkative in your home, and if she tries to divide your home, you need to protect the weaker person, that is your wife. Or if your mother is attacking your husband, you should be able to protect your husband from your rough mother or difficult mother. So we need to balance in whatever we do. We must understand that our parents-in-law or parents-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law, at one time they will get old. We have a responsibility to take care of them. It does not matter how. If it means that we will send money so that somebody can be taking care of them, let's do that. But whatever we do, we should not forget our parents, because without them, we'll not be here. Without that mother who talks too much, your husband will not be there and you not enjoy the things that you are enjoying. So they matter. It does not matter what happens. They are important in your life. All you need to do is to know how to handle that situation. And that is what we call maturity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program, and we really appreciate your knowledge and your wisdom. This has been PanSAKA.
Lance,
Remember, yes.
just my last remarks would be, if you are a mother today or a father today, always remember that you are a potential mother-in-law. You are a potential father-in-law. The way
Correct.
you treat your mother-in-law today,
Correct.
the way you treat your mother-in-law, the way you'd want them to treat you when you become a mother-in-law. So if I'm a daughter-in-law today, I should always know that one day I'm going to be a mother-in-law. And how will I want my daughter-in-law to treat me? So let's try to
Correct.
harmonize. Lance,
Correct.
we calabefi.
Correct.
All right. So thank you so much, Evangelist Shabuula, and of course, Himba, the host for today's PanSAKA program. We appreciate that also you, our viewers, we appreciate that you've been a part of the program. Your comments, your likes, your shares, they always build us. They always soldier us to go on and bring to you this exciting edition of PanSAKA. Remember, every Thursday at 21 hours, of course, Evangelist Shabuula is here to get to teach you or learn from you one or two things as we get to educate one another on things that borders on life. And then don't forget, tomorrow Friday, as Ubuntu channel, we are bringing to you Ubuntu Sports at 21 hours. Stay tuned, stay glued. Good evening, and we hope that you get to enjoy the rest of the evening and enjoy the rest of the weekend as we say bye-bye this evening. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.